I know everything about you.
We are the ancient ones. We have watched thousands of worlds rise and fall, and among them all, you humans turned out to be the loudest and the most anxious. Today is a new chapter of our observations. Brace yourselves, you won't enjoy it. We have observed you for thousands of years. We saw you crawl on all fours, then learn to run, then ride horses. And we thought, finally, these creatures understand what it means to move. The wheel, the road, the journey. You were heading toward freedom. But then you invented cities, and we had to admit, you reached the peak of absurdity. You built a labyrinth of concrete, glass, and asphalt, and then willingly locked yourselves inside. You call it progress. We call it a parasite organism that paralyzed itself and devours its own creators. Your cities don't live for you. You live for them. You sing songs about the open road. You film movies where cars symbolize independence, where the hero drives into the sunset on an empty highway. But in reality, your road is a giant factory that manufactures traffic jams. Your sunsets are just lines of headlights. Your songs about freedom blast from the speakers of a car that isn't moving. The only thing in motion is the fuel gauge, showing how quickly your money and your life are draining away. Every morning, millions of beings with minds capable of splitting atoms and launching satellites perform the same ritual. They stuff themselves into metal capsules weighing a ton. You call them cars. We call them portable cages. And all this just to cover a few miles. Your goal? To sit in another box and waste your life on something you call work. You've built entire routes of suffering just to leave a small box in the morning and arrive at a bigger one by evening. The commute is not movement. It's a ritual of voluntary torture. Your roads, which should be the arteries of life, turn into blood clots. Millions of cars sit bumper to bumper, like cells in a petri dish, slowly choking one another with exhaust fumes. Every morning and every evening, you trigger this ritual of collective suffocation. You don't go out to drive. You go out to slowly die of boredom, anger, and gas. We've seen your faces in traffic. These are the true masks of humanity: boredom, irritation, despair. One driver with bloodshot eyes screams at a neighbor for cutting in half a car length, as if half a car length could save his life. A woman draws eyeliner in the rearview mirror, risking blindness just to look put together at the office, though everyone there knows she spent 2 hours cursing the universe on the way. A man eats a greasy sandwich in a white shirt while balancing a laptop on his knees, because the report has to be finished. Someone listens to the radio, where the cheerful announcer says, "Today's morning traffic is the usual," and you call that news. Another blasts music so loud that nearby cars become unwilling participants in his depression. And yet, another grips the steering wheel so tightly it looks like he's about to rip it out and beat himself to death with it. Inside, your cars plays a theater of absurdity. Someone types, "Sorry, I'm late," though everyone is late. Someone brushes their teeth behind the wheel, spitting into a plastic bottle, because there's no time at home. Someone shaves with an electric razor at a red light. Someone manages a video call about company strategy while stuck on the shoulder of life. Someone eats soup out of a plastic container, spilling half on the seat, and calls it time management. Someone literally sells street food out of their window, because business must run even in gridlock. and someone had sex in the office parking lot because there was no time or energy left at home. You do everything in traffic except the one thing traffic was meant for: driving. Now, let's look at your public transport. Buses are so packed that people are pressed against each other like sardines. The driver yells through the intercom, "Move to the back," though there's nowhere left to move. Subways. You shove into the doors like paradise is inside when it's just another cage underground. You fight for a seat on a cold plastic chair and call it a victory. Commuter trains squeal as if they themselves protest the absurdity of the ride. And if one breaks down, you wait on the platform for the next, which will be even more overcrowded. You call this getting around, but really, you're just swapping one cage for another. You say you don't have time, but every day, you willingly hand your time over to traffic. An average human spends years of their life on the road. In that time, you could learn several languages, raise a child, write a book, build a new city, even live another life entirely. Instead, you master only one skill: cursing behind closed windows. You become experts in hate. Hate for fellow drivers, for city planners, for bus drivers, and most of all, for yourselves. You complain about stress, but traffic is what creates it. Traffic is where your anger is born. You bring it home and call it tiredness. But in reality, it's just a byproduct of your religion. Yes, religion. Because traffic isn't just an inconvenience, it's a cult. It has its dogmas. The more cars, the better. Progress means building a new road. Traffic means you're successful. It has its saints, engineers who design new interchanges. It has its rituals, honking as prayer, cursing as confession, listening to the radio as psalms. It has its icons, traffic lights glowing red longer than your joy lasts. It has its pilgrimages, your daily commute. It has its sacrifices, your health, your nerves, your families. And like every religion, it doesn't solve problems, it multiplies them. You believe that building one more road will finally free the flow. But in reality, you're just making more space for more cars to sit in even bigger traffic jams. That's like treating gangrene by stitching on more dead flesh. Each of you thinks, "I'm the smart one, I'll take a shortcut." But you're all in the same current, stuck in the same clot. It's like a race where no one can finish. You boast of building airplanes that cross oceans in hours. You boast of rockets that fly to Mars. But you can't get yourselves to the grocery store in 5 minutes. You invented teleportation of information, but teleportation of the human body across a city remains your greatest unsolved puzzle. Your buses are bursting like canned goods. Your trains crawl slower than snails. Your bicycles die under the wheels of your own cars. Your sidewalks are obstacle courses of ads, kiosks, and trash. You build parking lots that take up more land than your parks. Your cities breathe exhaust and cry with horns. You didn't create cities as marvels of engineering. You built them as monuments to your own illogic. Millions of tons of steel, plastic, and concrete, all for standing still, for hours, for years, for lives. We have seen civilizations where transport obeyed people, where a step onto the street made the street itself move, where movement was like breathing, natural, smooth, silent. We've seen worlds where distance itself disappeared, where beings moved like thoughts, where lateness didn't exist, because no one lived by the clock. We've seen cities that moved along with their inhabitants, like living organisms. Worlds where transport was built into the body, where motion was as natural as a breath. And then there's you. You're not in control of your transport. Your transport controls you. You don't live by biological time. You live by bus schedules, traffic lights, and the endless red glow of brake lights. We have seen your cities consume you from the inside. Every year, you buy millions of new cars, and every year, your roads get denser and dumber. You trust your navigation apps to save you, but everyone trusts them, and together, you all obediently drive into the same dead end. The navigator doesn't lead you to salvation. It leads you to collective despair. It's your digital shepherd, guiding its herd straight into the slaughterhouse of gridlock. We have watched you die not of age, but of the road. You suffocate in traffic and collapse with heart attacks behind the wheel. You lose years of your lives in endless lines of cars. You destroy your families. Husbands and wives fight endlessly over "I was late because of traffic." Your children grow up in the back seat, listening to their parents scream. Your lives slip away not into dreams, not into discoveries, not into joy. They slip away into roads that lead nowhere. You fear death, but every day you kill yourselves in your cars. You say life is short, but you make it shorter, hour by hour, jam by jam. You could live, but you choose to stand still. You invented the wheel to go faster. Then you built cities just to stand forever. You created civilization to move forward, but it got stuck. You call this life. We call it irony. See you soon. We still have many stories to tell about you.